Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the C.A.R, the classic album review, brought to you by Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS network with 5 Royals Entertainment. You shall be entertained. Hop on in, buckle up, and get ready for one hell of a ride. Yeah, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know who it is. It is yours truly, the Lord Nelson, that is. Yes, indeed. For the podcast Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS network with 5 Royals Entertainment. But ladies, once again, this is the C.A.R, the C.A.R, the classic album review. And we're going to do an amazing album, yes, indeed, by Nirvana called Nevermind. And this young guy that's right here, I'm going to introduce him here in a second, but, you know, he really got me into them. You know, I knew Teen Spirit, which is one of the greatest songs of all time, but, you know, he really was like, yo, you got to check this out. So let me roll into this, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I now shall show love for an album that is considered by many to be one of the greatest rock albums of all time. Nevermind by Nirvana. Nevermind is their second studio album, released September 24th, 1991, and it was in September, so you know it's got to be great. Anything birthed in September is great. And it definitely...
I was born in June. I told you that, Lloyd. We discussed this beforehand. Right.
Definitely changed the game and brought forth a new movement in music. So I, with my special co-host, I like to call him Cabo San Lucas, Mr. Lucas Hack, better known as, we shall dive into this amazing track list and talk all the things Nevermind by Nirvana. So, ladies and gentlemen, the tank is full, and since you're ready to ride, I'm ready to drive. Yeah. So we're going to start off with the first song. And if you don't mind, I'll talk about it, and I want you to come in and you tell me how you feel about this song.
We're going to start off where I say we start off.
Okay.
Let me first and foremost say this. I remember a time, specifically, you and I were hanging out once, and we're having a conversation. And I was talking about Nirvana. And you were like, man, they don't play that stuff no more. They don't play Nirvana. I was like, you pull up Rock 935. They play them all the time. No, they do not. They don't play Nirvana on Rock 93.5 anymore. That stuff is 15 years old. I remember. I'll never forget that. That's and right. Of course, we do what we do. We immediately call the radio station and ask them. That's how Lord Nelson and I handle arguments like this. We'll call the hospital and ask you if you got robots that deliver drinks. We'll call them right now. If you tell me that there's robots in the hospital that drop off Diet Cokes to patients, we will call the hospital right there.
We will definitely call the hospital.
We'll call the hospital and we will ask the nurses, the staff, and you will stand there while we call them. Okay. So we called Rock 93.5, and not only did that guy say, we play them just about every hour, he says, we will continue to play them every hour for the rest of our life. That's how good. That's how we handled that situation. And Lord Nelson, as humble as he is, and I will say this, over the next 3 years, I sent him a text message every time I was in the car and listening to Rock 93.5 and Nirvana came on. I say, Rock 935 is playing Nirvana again. I had to change my actual text plan to unlimited because I was messaging him that much.
Oh my goodness.
And he was humble enough to realize it and say, okay, look, I was wrong. Okay, that's cool.
Hey, I couldn't do nothing but admit it. Ladies and gentlemen, even before we get into this track list, there's two people in this world that are the funniest human beings to me, and that's my wife and this young man right here.
Yeah.
It's like Michael and Kobe. They're like 1A, 1B. They're so close. But there's nothing more than being around this young man who makes me laugh like crazy. And I mean, he is that hilarious to me. And as you can see, he already starts off.
Hey, look, Nina's in the background like, I better be MJ in that situation.
You know well, indeed.
He's like, I better be MJ in that situation right there. Someone like, look,
Indeed. And so, it's a beautiful thing to have amazing people in your life. And this I'm old enough to be his uncle more so than his brother, but he is really family to me. I love him. I won't get all emotional because he's one of the great human beings that I know, and I've known him for a good long time. And he and his family are great, and I just got the utmost respect for him. He's so knowledgeable and so smart. And listen, we can do all that, man, because we can go on and on and on
keep going
about each other.
Keep going. Well, the feeling's mutual here in the Hack household. We love you to death. We love your family. Always have. That's just, you've always been a role model to me. I've always looked at you as a father figure and a brother. You're like that hybrid. I can put my hand on your head and say you my dad, or I can dap you up like my brother. We can go either way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the hand on the head thing is amazing. We won't get into that, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Anyway, he makes me laugh.
Let's talk about this album.
You my dad.
You my dad.
Okay, ladies, we're gonna get started. I can't help it. This dude right here is a wild boy. So the first song on this album is Teen Spirit. So to me, it is one of the greatest songs of all time, no matter the genre. The tension and release of this song controls our actions like a puppet master. The energy transference from musicians to listeners makes you want to move and headbang and groove. And you see it playing back there, ladies and gentlemen. Behind me, that's the video. And that's the only thing that I was going to have playing because I love the song so much. So the video was beautifully directed, and its simplicity spoke louder than most of the $1 million budget vids. I don't know how much this vid costs, but it's an amazing video. This song is so dope that I, with my brother Matt Acevedo, Plastic Catastrophe with Lord Nelson, we made our own version of it. And I'll probably play it at the end of this. But, in my eyes, everything about the song is perfect, and I love it. So tell me how you feel about Teen Spirit, young man.
Oh, man, that was my youth right there. That was right there at the peak of angst, junior, or I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Getting into this, and it was the melodic chords, the thrashing, the breakdown in it. It's the breakdown and build up. That's everything that the kids want. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's controlled chaos. You break it down. It's nice and smooth. You're kind of getting a break, and then it builds up, and next thing you know, you're getting crazy. I mean, that's high school wrapped up in a nutshell anyway. 100%. But that song, I never heard anything like that before. That this is the first band I've ever really fell in love with and was obsessed with for a long time. And this song was a huge part of it, for sure.
Indeed, man. It's just a great one. I still listen to it all the time. It stays in rotation. You can just listen to this album. This is one of those no-skip albums that you could just put on, just listen. And then as Ronald Smith, our former good friend Ronald Smith said, it has replay value. This definitely has replay value, this album, so it's one of the great ones. So as we move into In Bloom, now, what a cool song. And yes, I had to write my own version of this one too. This is how much I got into Nirvana, that this music really just affected me so much. And so Kurt comes in with that coolness, with that bass line thumping, setting us up for a much harder chorus that is catchy and inspires us to sing along. And once again, the tension and release is magnificent and undeniable. Tell me about it, man.
Is that the one that's the one with the video that's like the flashback from like the 60s, isn't it?
Yeah.
He comes out with the glasses and he's all clean cut.
Man.
And that video right there was, that was unbelievable. Like it had that old school, who was one of the old school guys? Who's the guy that died in the plane crash? You know what I'm talking
about? What's the band?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Man, what's his name?
With the La Bamba guy. La 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 Bamba. Richie Valverde was in there with him. Yeah. It kind of has that.
What's the guy's name? Because they weren't around a long time. But
was it Holiday or something?
Yeah, he had the glasses on or whatever. You know, I can't remember his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, well, I think this was somewhat of a parody of that kind of that genre, and which was awesome to think about. Even like the person that introduced him in the video, these are a bunch of swell guys. It's just kind of cool. Right. You can watch it like 1,000 times, just for the video alone. But the song itself, I mean, Kurt Cobain was. He was one of the, in my opinion, when it came to rhythm guitar, he was the best. I mean, he was the best at putting together a song that had the exact amount of angst and chill and rhythm to fill the song without being too much.
Right. Well, the one thing that he said, me doing the research and reading about it, he told Dave Grohl, he was like, it's not about the lyrics. It's about the music first. And so, he loved choruses. He loved harmony. And so it was he's just special, man. He's just a different dude, man. And he brought it. You hate that he left this world the way that he did, but he was definitely a talent, and they definitely changed the world of music. They changed music, man. They really did. So
I think that the guy that produced that album, I think is Butch Vig or something like that. He, because after you listen to Bleach, which is Nirvana's first album, like you can tell that they've got, it's the first album appeal. You can tell once someone gets their hands on them and kind of molds them a little bit.
Right.
They were destined for something bigger. And he did that with that band and that album. I don't know what it would have sounded like if it was produced by somebody else, but he was kind of a big deal at that time. And then he went on to do Siamese Dream, which is one of my other favorite albums of all time by Smashing Pumpkins, same producer. But I think he really worked well with the band and with Kurt to put that album together to be what it was. I think it takes a producer. You know that. You're in music. You got to have a guy that's in there like, let's shorten this in. Let's put this in here. Let's build some tension here.
Yeah.
I think he helped a lot with this album.
There's no doubt. It's just great. And I've watched a few things where he's talking about it, how he wanted Kurt to do this and Kurt didn't want to do this. He was talking about how he wanted Dave to play on the click track. Said that Dave was like, I've never played on the click track. And then he said, but
he's insulted.
He said, yeah, that's right. That's what he said. He said he was insulted. He said, but he was insulted for only one day.
That's right. Only for a day.
He said they did it in one take, and it was just amazing. I can't remember what song it was, but he was just like, it was amazing. It was amazing, man. So, listen, 100%, man. In Bloom, another great one, man. And then, Come As You Are. So the intro is so in the pocket of coolness, preparing you for Kurt's dirty vocal sound and delivery. He sings this so passionately that you can't help but feel he's speaking all truth. No lie, no cap, as the youngsters say. The sonics in this song are special, and the lyrics are powerfully reserved, yet still touching you beautifully in the best of ways. Just greatness, greatness.
Yeah, I remember when I was really into them, adults would hear me listening to them, and they'd be like, "Why are you listening to that? That guy's voice is terrible. The songs are terrible." It's an older generation. Yeah. And it was like, he had, the thing about Kurt Cobain was his voice was an instrument. Like he didn't really look at it as anything else. He was just, he was the leader of grunge. He just pretty much said, you don't have to have a pretty voice.
Right.
You don't have to be perfect with your chords or anything. You just come out here and just, essentially use these instruments to strike these emotions out of people. And if you can do that, it's successful. And that's what he did. In my personal opinion, then I'd look at that older guy and I'd be like, y'all like White Snake. What are you talking about? Y'all like that rat. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking? Don't come at me like don't come at me dissing my bands. I started pulling up their bands. I was like, look, all these guys look like chicks. They all got with lipstick on and makeup. You coming at me talking about Kurt Cobain. You know what I mean? I was like, what? Some guy's like, oh man, this guy killed some of the best music in the world in the 80s. And like, I'm like, bro, you got a Skid Row shirt on right now. I was like, what are you talking about?
Music, man. That's great hair rock. It's glam rock.
No, it ain't. No.
He's hating.
No, I'm not going to jump in. 80s has some great music, okay? Hair bands wasn't it.
Come on, yes, it was.
No.
That's what was going on, man.
Wrong. Don't let them suck you in, bro. Don't let them bring.
That's my town. That's what I grew up with, man. What are you talking about?
Don't let them bring you into that camp. No. Go back and watch it now. Go back and watch it now. Go back and watch it now. You're like, is he wearing lead press on nails? Does he have what's going on right now? Is he wearing an eyeliner?
Man, you a wild dude. They still do it now.
Nah, I mean, the first album the first tape I ever bought was Guns N' Roses. So, I mean, they were somewhat a little bit of a hair band. So I did like some of the music.
They were on the edge of that. They were on the edge of that.
Yeah. There was a little edge. There was more of an edge. Like Poison and stuff. I never got into that stuff.
My goodness. He's a little young, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't understand.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah. But you know what? I understand it though, because there's some generation, at some time someone's going to look on Nirvana and be like, that's old stuff right there. I don't like that. That's, there's no new age wave to it. There's no, there's no, they're going to look at it like I look at some of that 80s rock stuff. That's probably it. Because the kids are looking for something different.
I know, and they may, but you know what? There's just certain people, your Michael Jacksons, your Princes, your Kisses, even though Kisses, there's a lot of the Eagles. There's a lot of bands that just stand the test of time, man. It doesn't matter. The Rolling Stones, man. Come on, man.
It's true.
People are still into the Beatles. Great music will always be great music. And so
I agree with that.
So Nirvana definitely had great music. They made great music, and their thing grabbed people, and it changed music, the landscape of music. And so when you have bands or people that change the landscape of music like that, it's going to be timeless. It's never going anywhere, man. People are always going to be able to say like, oh my gosh, I've never listened to that before, but wow. Because it moves, it does those kind of, that's just the way I feel, man,
Well, and you're right, because, I started thinking about it. I was like, man, when I was in high school, I was listening like to the Doors, and like I was listening to stuff that was a little bit older, and Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
So I'm like, I was listening to classic music in reality when I was in high school. Yeah. Pink Floyd, which is my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that there'll be generations, hopefully, that will look back and appreciate it.
Of course.
I always try to put some new music on for my son, for Colton, when I'm taking him to school or we're going to baseball or something. Smells Like Teen Spirit. He always says, play the janitor song, Daddy. That's what he said. Because he sees the video as I got it up on play the janitor song.
So, but there he is right there. There he is back there.
Yeah, there he is.
But that's what though. That's when it knows.
Oh, that's what he knows. The images.
Yes, because the same thing with my children, the same thing. They're just like, Dad, so that song came on. I remember this, and that music was so great. I was just like, yes, that's why I wanted you guys to listen to everything.
He loves it. So we're driving down the road, and I was like, oh, okay. So I start to introduce him to some new music, and I was like, I'm going to introduce him to some Pink Floyd. Let's get this going. Yeah. And I played it. I played him Money. So I was like, it's a little bit high tempo, maybe get it going a little bit. And we're listening to it. And he's like, Daddy. And I was like, yeah, you like it? He's like, and, like, it wasn't until 5 minutes later when I was like, I better turn around and go and get him. Because I kicked him out of the car. And I'm like, you know what? You can't hear him. Think about it a little bit. I drove away. And I was like, I better turn around and go and get him. I don't want child services coming after me. I came back and got him. I said, did you think about what you just said to me about that track? Talking about Pink Floyd right now. Don't you disrespect them?
Like, he's a big fan now.
Yeah. Loves it now. Loves it.
Oh my goodness, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to forgive us. As I say, I'm going to laugh at him all day long because he truly is hilarious to me, man.
I ain't asking for forgiveness.
I'm just saying, man, I love it. We're here to do a certain thing, but this is a part of what is great about us and what we do. Yeah. And I appreciate it so much, man. You just don't know. I'm enjoying this amazingly. So we'll move to the next song, Breathe. And so,
yeah, oh my gosh,
it's that energy from start to end with this song. And Kurt rides the music effortlessly with repetitive lyrics that are never annoying, and the dopeness continues. How you feel about this?
Oh, this is like one of those tracks. You know, when you go out and buy an album and you play like the hit songs like a million times, and then you're like, okay, let me listen to the other songs on the album too. I think everybody kind of goes through that.
Yeah.
And man, this became one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about like this song in general, and even Kurt Cobain, like his lyrics, you can pretty much work them into anything you want them to be.
Mm-hmm, right.
You know, and they can mean anything you want them to mean. I think that was one of his main talents was if you're a lyricist, if you can write something where everybody can relate something to it.
Yes.
You can make it whatever you want.
100%.
He kind of did this with that song, and like, you know, he's like, do you have lyrics in front of you?
No, I don't have the lyrics in front of me. I can pull them up though. You know,
it was something like, you know, we don't have to breed or something like that. Essentially, I think it was they could be friends or something along those lines. Like it's kind of a love song in a way. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I just remember loving the heck out of that song.
I don't care. 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 Care if it's old.
Definitely a love song.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Don't have a mind.
Told you it was a love song.
Get away. Get away. Get away. Get away. Away from your home. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of ghosts. Hey, listen. Once again, it's just like he just did what he did. And it's just like he had a meaning for it. And we listened to it. We might just pull something else from it. But it was
had a meaning for it, all right. Heroin. You know, that was his love, right? Heroin. That was his girlfriend's name.
Kurt, rest well, yo. Rest well.
Hey, look. Let's be real right now.
Indeed. Oh my goodness. So the next song is Lithium. So more of Kurt's Calm Before the Storm. I wrote my own version of this one also. I'm telling you, you got me into this album, man, just really beyond and I just went into it. And so everything everything works so well together. And so the vocals and the instrumentation are stellar. Love the lyrics, and I respect the fact that he felt free enough to say them. It's a great song, man. Lithium.
That Lithium is. I think that's one of the all-time greats. I mean, like I say, he knows how to put chords together to write songs.
Yes, indeed.
All of his songs kind of breathe. They got enough open space to get, so you can hear all the other instruments, and then just use them to build up. And he does that in Lithium as well. It's just it's a timeless song. Like you said, it's timeless.
I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
what's the next part?
I'm so ugly, but so are you. It's just real, man. It just, once again, it just draws you in. It's a beautiful song.
What did he say about his friend Willie?
He said, I'm so happy because today I found my friends. They're in my head. I'm so ugly. That's okay, because so are you. broke our mirrors. I'm just like, what this?
Keep it going. Keep that thing going.
Sunday morning. It's every day for all I care. And I'm not scared. Light my candles in a daze because I found God. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to read the line where it says, "That's okay, my Willie's gay." Yeah. That's the next verse.
Is that what he says?
Hey, look, that's what he says.
I don't remember that one.
Get down into that.
I don't see no that about Willie's gay, but I think you
read the lyrics.
I'm reading it. I don't see that, man.
Yes, it's in there. Man. It's in there.
You don't say that, but I'm so Willie because I'm gay. I shave my head and I'm not sad, and I'm just maybe I'm to blame for all I've heard, but I'm not sure. No, he don't say that like that.
Keep reading it.
Hold on. This is what he says.
Yeah.
I'm so horny. That's okay. My will is good.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not. That's not what he says.
That's what I'm reading.
You're on that PG site. That's why. You on that politically correct site. That ain't what he says in the lyrics.
What he
That's
saying
okay.
is,
My will is. Hey, that's okay. My will is good. Yeah. You on that Walmart version?
What did he say?
You on that Walmart tape?
What did he say then?
You on that censored version? You got them censored lyrics.
I got the radio edit.
You got the radio edit lyrics. Hey, I listened to that album 8 zillion times. I promise you, he does not say, "I'm so horny, my will is good." He doesn't say that.
So what did he say again?
He says, "It's okay, my Willie's gay." But what he's saying is his privates are happy, essentially. So
I told you we could take the baby.
I don't know where you got those lyrics that you just read.
Man, this is no lyrics.
But those are the Toys R Us. That's a Toys R Us version of it. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're a wild dude, man. Hey, listen.
I'm just being real with you.
No, it's all love to me.
We gotta be real right here. You know who else? I want to be real right now. I want to make sure they're real.
The Lord.
Let's be real right now. All right, next song.
Man. I just don't remember that part in there. Then just read the lyrics, man. You know you're a wild dude, but hey, if you say it,
I didn't write them. I didn't write the lyrics.
Kurt did. It was
Kurt did.
It was Kurt.
It's
Kurt Diggler.
Kurt Diggler.
Kurt Diggler. Oh my goodness, man. My stomach's hurt, y'all.
Nice love.
Wild dude, man.
Shout out Mark Wahlberg.
So, yo, man, the next song is Polly. Yep. Now, Polly, I remember you talking about this song way back when, and I was just like, yo, man, and then you hit me with, I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Kurt's kind of wild. And so this, this feels like a total freestyle that turned into a song. So nothing complicated about the music, but the lyrics created visual for me that somewhat uncomfortable once I understood what he's singing about. Mm-hmm. How you feel about Polly, yo?
I remember listening to Polly like on repeat. And, back in the day, on repeat meant you rewinded the tape.
Right.
And hopefully you had a boom box that would stop in between songs. Those are the expensive boom boxes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or else you had to stop and hit play and find out where it was at or whatever. But man, that song was, and I didn't know what that song was even about or anything until later on. And I guess one of the girls at one of his shows had been abducted or something along those lines. Right. Yeah. So he had heard about it and then he wrote about it there. And it's like a couch song. It's like a song he just wrote sitting on the couch, solo, whatever. And that's what it feels like. I don't know if that's what happened, but yeah, just the melodicness of the chords. He's just playing the same chords over and over all the way through. And he can do that. He has the ability to do that with his vocals.
Yeah, indeed.
So, just a phenomenal song. I think he did that on the Unplugged album too.
Yeah.
they did that live.
Hey man, this is once again another song. It's just his uniqueness that brought it out, and you just gotta respect it, man. Whether you like it or not, whether you like his voice or not. And I remember people just like, well, he only plays like a few chords, and I'm like, those chords work. They work. Well. They work
great.
Well. Simplicity. A lot of times we find out that simplicity is the best thing. You can add 9,000 different instruments in a song, but the simplicity and where the people can hear it, grab it, gravitate to it, and just easy. Because a lot of times people don't want things complicated. It's music, it's entertainment, and they entertained, man. They did. So the next one, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think you're right. I think that there's only so many chords that you can play in certain songs, right? Like, that you can play together. There's certain people that are like, oh, it's the people that can play the different chords together and make them sound good are the best musicians. Well, my belief is somebody who can play the same 3 chords that everybody else does, but sound completely different.
Yeah.
To me is a huge talent. And I think that they do that. Yeah. You can have all the talent, but not that you can have all the talent. You can have the same guitar, the same drum set, the same mic, but it's you. It's the talent that's coming through you. Hey, you can get to the same spot on the basketball court. Can you make the shot? Yeah.
Or how can you make that shot? Some people can, shoot a hook, close their eyes and make it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just comes different to them.
Oh, yeah.
So, indeed. So just like I said, we recorded. Matt and I, we recorded the Nirvana song, Teen Spirit, but I call it Nirvana. And the thing is that it sounds something like that, but it can never be what Kurt is. Kurt is who he is. I can never be that. Nobody else can be him. I don't care who you are. You can sound similar, but you'll never be him. So he'll always have that specific energy that is that is just who he is. And so you can't get that. You could try to tap into that. You might think you can feel, but you can't. They just had a certain energy that just, transcended everything else. And man, it's just, I just got the utmost respect for them. So now, Territorial Pissings. What a title. So to me, it's definitely punk rock influence. The energy is infectious. And I can see the fans in the venue just losing their minds, man. Just losing.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's another one that, you don't listen to until you're done wearing out all the hits.
Right.
But that, I want to say he even did that one. That one was so good. I think he did that on Unplugged as well. But man, I think that's when people started to realize how good this album was, when they heard the singles and all that stuff, and they kind of got through some of that. And especially people later on down the road, they got to appreciate them and go through that process. Yeah. You hear a song like this, and it's same thing. Strong melodic chords, a little bit too wild to be on the radio as a hit, but yet you can love it if you're driving down the street, or if you're in your bedroom jamming out or whatever. That's a great song. Great song.
Just a great listen, man. This album is just a great listen, man. And so now, Drain You. So love the way they get right to it with the vocals. Kurt's vocals are just perfect for the music. And the entire song is a vibe, man. And I love the breakdown at between 136 and 234. They just go in, man. It's just a good thing. You just listen and I'm just like, oh man, this is amazing. It really is. It really is.
Drain You is another one. Yeah. Another one, man. It's like you every song that comes on, that, like, I don't know if you ever revisit old albums. You're like, I'm just gonna play this thing all the way through.
Right.
And then you're like expecting a song to come on where you're like, okay, I'll listen to it a little bit and maybe this is one of those albums where every time a song comes on, you're like, oh man, I remember this. Oh, this is a great song.
Yes.
And Drain You is another one.
When you have these kind of songs that I always say they time machine you. They take you back to a place and a time where you just like, oh man, I was here. Oh, hey, man, I was chilling here. I was in the car with the guys, or I was chilling with this girl, and man, we were listening to this, and I was just driving by myself, and
I had a bunch of. I remember I had a whole bunch of acne, and I just remember sitting by myself in my bedroom listening.
No, that's real though. Yeah,
that's where it takes me. I mean, now that I think about it, like a lot of people like Nirvana, like back when they really kind of came out, but there was like a group of like, I don't know, 30 or 40 people that in my high school that really loved them, you know, and everybody else, they were like, okay, you know, I lived somewhat in a hip hop town where, you know, hip hop was, you know, Snoop Dogg album came out. Yeah. Tupac was doing, you know, he was huge. Yeah. You know, you had all that stuff. Coolio and all. People were listening to rap and hip hop music. A lot of people were. Indeed. And grunge just wasn't. A lot of people did listen to it, but it was a smaller group that really got infatuated with it. Yeah. So
it was still West Coast.
That's it.
Just the slow burn is like I like to say, just took some time to get on over. But that's it. I'm just telling you, every time Teen Spirit came on, it's kind of like, you know, watching Brooklyn Zoo from ODB. You know, I had to watch that video every time Teen Spirit came on that television. I don't care what I was doing. I stopped and I gave them my time. I was like, I got to give my time to this. This is just amazing. I can't help it. You know, I was drawn in like that. I was just like, look at everything that's going on, man. Look at the cheerleaders and look at this, the lighting of it. And just like, you know, Colton said, the guy with the, you know, the janitor dude. I mean, it's just like a part of it. And you remember the janitors at your school. You remember that, you know, so
all come together. I mean, ODB, you know, I can run just about every lyric he's ever put together on anything. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorites. I love him to death. And I remember being with you one time when Brooklyn Zoo came on the screen, and I was looking over at you, and you were like a kid in a candy store. You were just like... The video was just so amazing. I was late at night, and you were just into it, and I was like, man, I ain't even gonna break his concentration right now. You start throwing kicks, you start throwing punches, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen Lord Nelson, but he's like 6'9". Used to be about 330, 340 before he got on the keto diet. Before he cut his carbs.
I'm trying to get back up there. See, I had to start eating again. I had to eat again.
They used to call him Big Body Boy. Now they call him, he's kind of big. He's medium body boy. He's medium.
I'm still the big guy, ladies. This dude is a wild dude. That's why I love him, though. He's amazing. And so the next one, Lounge Act. So I love this song and the way Kurt rides the rhythm with his vocals, and certain parts are just really dope. And they felt the bass intro, you know, was like something from a Lounge Act. So I was reading up on it. They felt the bass was something like from a Lounge Act with how they would do it. So that's why they named it Lounge Act. And so I believe he wrote this song about his girlfriend, Toby Vale, of the band Katie Kills. Do you remember them?
Yeah. I knew that he dated some girl from another band.
He was dating her. So from what I read, he was dating her the majority of the time that he wrote Nevermind. Yeah. And I was always thinking it was Courtney Love.
She didn't jump in the mix. She didn't jump into the mix till after that first Nevermind check came.
Then she gave him that pop, that POP.
Yeah. I think she was dating like Eddie Vedder or something. She was dating somebody else. Yeah. She was dating someone else on the grunge scene, I think. And then, or maybe no, it wasn't. It was the guy from Smashing Pumpkins. That's who it was. Billy Corgan. She was dating him.
Oh, really?
And then, Wow. And then I'm not sure if this is 100% right, but then they went and saw Nirvana or something. And then like she ended up leaving Billy Corgan for Kurt Cobain, and Billy was like, I don't blame you. Like,
he said, I would have done the same thing.
Well, Kurt Cobain, I think, is the only person that Billy Corgan respected in the music. But I think he always looked at him as somebody who was better than him as a musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Billy Corgan's a phenomenal songwriter, talent, musician. Yeah. But he'll also let you know that he is a phenomenal songwriter, talented musician.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah. But he looked at Kurt Cobain.
He's LeBron James. I'm the best. But let us tell you you're the best, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. That in my opinion, that's how you know how much respect, like, very, very good musicians, when they talk about Kurt Cobain, that's how you realize they're not saying it because he's passed away and out of respect.
Right.
Like Billy Corgan said, no, he was the best.
Yeah.
Because if you break the music down, he really was.
Mm-hmm.
At that and through that genre, through that time, he was the best.
Well, just like, Kurt told Dave, he's like, it's about the music. Care about the music first. Lyrics are secondary to him. So I was just like, wow, man, So Stay Away. Once again, definite punk rock energy to me. Kurt just being Kurt with the lyrics. Yeah. As he told Dave Grohl, the music comes first, and then the lyrics. And then, Kurt was big on melodies, and it seems to me another great song. Stay Away is another great song.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kids that, the antisocial group of people that just they haven't reached that, that level in their life where they really want to branch out and talk to people. I think everybody goes through that. You just kind of want to be alone. Yeah. And this song, I'll tell you what, you listen to this song, with the energy behind it, it's solitude. It's people it's a song where you just want to be away from the world for a while. That's how you feel inside. What he's screaming and what he's playing is how you feel inside when you just want to be left alone. It's you're pushed to that point.
Indeed.
And I think that's what embodies the song.
Yeah, I feel like we all go through that. Sometimes you just want peace of mind. You just want that solitude. I understand it clearly. Sometimes I just like to get in my vehicle and drive around with the music and me, loud and no one else around. And it's just like I find peace. That's where I always say, like, God guide me.
Yeah.
And poof, there it is. Always. I just get in there with no music. And music is always playing in my head. But as Russell Simmons says, when you're quiet and you're just in your car and you don't let all the distractions get to you, and you're having that conversation with God, then so all those thoughts that you have when you've taken out all the other madness, and you're thinking about things and getting things right, that's when you're having the most intimate conversation with God. And I was just like, wow. So I started doing that, man. I started driving where I wouldn't play music or anything, hear anything. And then it was just like, wow, okay, clarity, so.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah. I'm in agreement with that. Driving around in silence, working things out in your mind, let the Lord guide you, kind of let him answer some questions. Because if you busy your mind up, sometimes you can't get into any of that.
That's right.
You're busy doing other stuff you don't really dwell on and work those things out. And you don't get to hear the voice of the Spirit kind of guiding you and settling you down a little bit. But
right, that's right.
I'm in agreement with that.
Yes, indeed. So On a Plane. Another cool song.
I'm on a plane. Yeah, I can't complain.
And Kurt's lyrics are everywhere, but it just works. I feel like we have all come up with different meanings of Kurt's lyrics as we've been talking about the whole thing. But the dopest continues. It's just that you can take and make it this or that. And when I was reading a lot of this stuff and with the the producer, and he was saying like he thought this meant this, but Kurt was like, no, this is what it means. And he's just like, man, is that what that means? It's like, yeah, this is what that means. And he's just like, wow, okay. Well, if that's what you said, you're the one writing the songs. Yeah. And so, it's just amazing what's going through people's heads. I always tell people a lot of time, you don't know what's going through my head. I think a lot of stuff. I'm just like, man, you could get away from me with that, man. Anyway, I'm not wild. I don't need help.
I think like if you ask people that go and look at paintings and stuff that admire paintings,
right.
The best artists are the kind that can paint something and everybody thinks something different, but everybody relates to it. Yeah. I think that's what makes Kurt Cobain's lyrics so good.
Right.
Everybody can relate to him. Yeah.
Indeed.
Because you have to. Everybody can listen to a kind of generic love song and be like, okay, I can relate to this in my past relationship or something like that. Mm-hmm. But there's people out there that have never been in a relationship. Right. So they hear it, they don't connect to the song at all.
Right. Indeed.
They're so specific.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt didn't have real specific stuff, so anybody could relate to it. You just make it what you want. That's right.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like what you just said right there. Indeed.
I'm going to start charging for these interviews if they're going to be this good. If I'm going to be busting out all kinds of wide statements like that, I'm going to start charging.
Hey, man, I want you on here because of your perspective of you being who you are. You're not the norm, my brother. You are 100% not the norm. Wow. And listen, my brothers and sisters out there, ladies and gentlemen out there, I'm telling you, this guy right here,
No.
If you ever listen, I got to take him.
Lord, all glory goes to the Lord and Lord Nelson.
I gotta and listen, if I'm ever out there on tour again doing what I'm doing and I have him anywhere around me, you want to hang around me for a little while. And just to know the comedic side of him will just comedy ensues and it will be a beautiful time, man.
Now, unless you're in Macon, Georgia at a show at a buffet, then you'll see him inside the nice warm restaurant eating a deluxe meal with me sitting on the curb outside in the parking lot with my friends because I wasn't allowed to come in and be with the band.
No, so
if you ever see Lloyd Nelson out and about,
listen.
And if you make a 5-hour trip to come and see one of his shows, don't expect to see me if you see him in a restaurant.
That had nothing to do with me.
Sitting on a curb outside with Joel Wainscott
and your brother.
There were some other people there too.
His brother was with him. Here's the thing, honestly. That was my first show with Stuck Mojo. I appreciate this young man so much. I mean, because they're family to me. Came down. We had a great time. I can still see it in my head so clearly. It mattered to me so much that he took the time, he and Joel and Trev, and they just came down and they enjoyed and they rocked out with me on my first show with Stuck Mojo. It was amazing, and I'll never forget it. It's branded in my head. I will never forget that.
I will say that I've been to probably 6 or 7 of your shows, the ones that have gone on around here with Stuck Mojo.
Right.
And every show felt like it was the best show I ever been to. Yeah. And I'm honest. And I've been to millions of shows.
Right.
You know, I'm sure part of that is you're one of my best friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, the energy that you all brought to the stage was, it was unreal. And like, I know that the other 5 people that were there with me, like total in the room, loved it too. Now they were packed houses, just play with you, man. Yeah. They were packed.
That was called a practice, man. That was called a VIP thing before the show started.
VIP friends only. We're just going to show you what we got. It turned into that.
It was sound check, man. You were wild.
As a sound check. I was like, Joe, why are they running all their songs? This is sound check.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, this dude right here is a wild boy, but that's why I love him so much, yo.
Yeah.
And so we go into something in the way. So it's a dark, slow burn that pulls you in with that acoustic guitar, and Kurt's softer and easy delivery in this one. And it's like I can see everything he's talking about. I visualize things so well. And I know I don't want to be there. I can see everything he's talking about, but I know I don't want to be there. And then, it's an awesome ending to this album. And the thing is that it's just what he's talking about. It's like, yo, man,
the chords, it's like, it sounds like it's played like on an old acoustic guitar or something that just has a huge body on it.
Right.
It's just got a lot of beautiful sound that comes out of the guitar that just strikes you. Like I said, he writes the songs and he hits. A lot of people could play those chords and not have them make you feel the way that you feel.
Right. Right.
But he hits them in a way that as soon as he strikes the chord, it's like, whoa, this is going to be intense. And it is, and then like I get this sudden urge to go bass fishing when he says fish don't have any feelings. I'm a fisherman. It always takes me fish. Like that's what I think about every time he says it. That's just
really, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. But in reality, it's a dark song,
Yeah.
And it's so simple, same chords over and over. But he knows how to do that. He knows how to do that. And I think musically, they add layers each time he comes into going into like a new a new chorus or something like that, or the next stage of the song,
Right.
they always add the right amount of instruments to it, you know,
Of
to make
course.
it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he does that here.
Yeah, so when I was reading it, you know, the producer, he was talking about it, you know, this is where he says, underneath the bridge, tarpon sprung a leak, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, it was talking about a guy that had AIDS. And I would have never gotten that from that, but he was just like, no, he was telling the guy, no, this is what it is. And he said they tried to record it, like doing it like regular studio wise, said it just wasn't working. So it said he came into the production room and he just laid there. So the guy was like, hold on. Because he was playing it so softly. He's like, let me go get some, he got some mics and stuff. And so they did it in the production room while Kurt laid there and played it. So he was just like, we'll do it here. So it wasn't all the stuff to where everything was, you know, soundproof or whatever. He's like, no, let's do it right here. And it worked. And it worked. So, man, you know, listen, great way to end, even though it's dark.
Oh, and what do you mean? Song. And that's not the last song on the album.
Yeah, I'm about to hit you with it right now. So there's a hidden track. Endless.
Oh, yeah.
Nameless. Yeah, total
Nameless on there.
Listen, total insanity that would drive fans to react insanely. So you know how you see them get up there and bust guitars all over the place or whatever, like that's what I see. You know, I'm just like, they're out here losing their minds, man. And so it's insanity. But
it is.
As you said when we first began, it's that angst. It's that, you know, that youth. It's that let's wild out. Let's just have a great time. And that's what it is. Release it. Yeah.
What the crazy thing is, I probably had that. I listened to that tape probably a million times.
Yeah.
And one night I was listening to Something's in the Way. I was lying in bed. Yeah. I was going to sleep because I listened to music at night. And I was in high school, you know, just lying in bed, listening to it. My little boom box right next to the bed, listening to it. And that song ended, and I'm sitting there falling asleep. And all of a sudden, doom,
crazy.
And I remember waking up thinking, what the heck is going on? Because I didn't, you know, I wasn't hip to hidden tracks on any kind of album.
Yeah.
And it's playing. And I just remember it was so late. And I was like, I got to call, my friend Alex. I was like, I got to call Alex and tell him about what this is insane. Because, you know, he was in Nirvana. But it was too late, you know, to call anybody. And I just remember like trying to find him the next day and tell him, dude, did you hear this hidden track on this album? Like, am I the only one that's found this? Like, because I didn't, you know, we didn't have internet or anything where you could scour the internet for stuff. It was just a surprise, you know. And then it was another song I got to listen to 8 million times.
100%.
You know?
And just like it catches you off guard. I'm trying to remember some of the ones that I've heard something like that. It's just like, man, did you hear this song? Did you know that on down? They were like, what? Yeah, man, you got to let it play. And then this, because, you know, you're usually doing something and you know, you just don't stop it. You're doing something else. And all of a sudden, bam. Like that, like, what the hell? Yeah.
I think Stone Temple Pilots in one of their albums, they have a hidden track in there too. That's pretty good. Man. Yeah. I know you're an STP guy. I got you on them too. Hidden still. Yeah.
You know I love Stone Temple Pilots, man. Come on, man. You said that, man. Listen, so you know that the whole grunge scene, that whole West Coast, Seattle, up that way, you know, Portland, all of that, man. It was just amazing. So like you said, Alice in Chains and who else did you say? What did you say earlier?
Soundgarden. Soundgarden out there. Yeah, Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, man. Come
Smashing
on, man.
Pumpkins. Yeah. The Pixies were kind of first. They were kind of 80s.
Yeah.
Pixies came in and kind of started doing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
REM.
Man.
Man, there's so many.
Man, I thought REM was from Georgia, man.
Oh, I'm not sure where they're from.
I thought they were from like Athens.
That might be.
I could be wrong. But anyway, just that whole scene, man, it's just amazing. And listen, I just want to thank you. I knew this was going to be great. Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
For spending some time, taking the time to spend some time, like I like to say, and just being a great co-host, because this was amazing, man. I'm telling you, man.
Well,
it's good to be. I'm laughing, I'm clowning. It was just beautiful.
I hope the 5 people that watch this enjoyed it.
Yes.
Nina, Julian, Jade, my mom, Charlotte ain't gonna watch it. So I ain't talking to her. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Man, you know I'm lying. You know, I got to play with. I mean, if I'm not playing with you, what am I doing? What am I doing?
My brother, you know it is all beautiful.
Hey, you know I love you.
I love you too, man. And listen, we're going to end it up here, but this is the thing that a lot of people always say, like, why do you laugh at him so much? And he just messes with people or whatever like that, because he is a version of who I used to be way back when I would always think the stuff as I was more older, you know, I was more grown, more mature. I would always think it, but he'd always say it. And so he'd say it, and I laugh so hard, and I still will, because
Was Jeff McCroy the one that said that? Who said that? I want to know. Who said, why are you laughing at me like that? Who?
All of them. All of them. They didn't understand. Like, you think it's that funny?
I don't.
It's more funny than you think that I think it is. It is hilarious.
You know what? You know what comes to mind every time I hear stuff like that? Hurt. Hurt.
Your feelings.
Hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, that hurt thing is something that my wife, she's from Mississippi. Her family used to say that to each other all the time when they would dig at each other. They say, hurt, because your feelings are hurt. When you say that hurt like somebody, it even adds to it. It makes it worse.
It makes it worse.
Yes, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for riding in the car, the classic album review, where we journey through music history to explore the timeless masterpieces that have shaped generations. And Nevermind wasn't just an album. It was a cultural phenomenon that redefined the music scene and propelled the grunge movement into the mainstream. 100%. The raw energy, rebellious spirit, and enduring legacy of Nirvana's magnum opus, Nevermind, is an album that has continued to resonate with listeners over 3 decades, man. It's been 30 years, man. It shows no signs of stopping. So to the old heads and the new heads, please take the time to visit and to revisit Nevermind and allow yourselves to be pleasured by an incredible classic album. Yes,
I just fact-checked everything you said, and it all came back as a fact.
It's facts.
It's a fact. All that.
So, man, hey, listen, man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the C.A.R, the classic album review on Live and Live with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals Entertainment. And yours truly, the Lord, Nelson, that is. And my brother, Cabo San Lucas. I got to call him that. I love it, man. I call him Cabo San Lucas because I said his life was a vacation, man. He's always on vacation.
I just fact-checked that, and that is inaccurate.
It used to be. It used to be.
It's a lie. Look, used to be. I feel blessed. I'm living the life.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, listen, you got a beautiful family, and it's all love, my brother. And you know what? I do want to say last thing. This young man had an amazing album out. I just want to say it.
Appreciate that.
Amazing album out of great music, and he might have to re-release that album out there so you guys can really, really check it out, because it was an amazing thing indeed. I just wanted to say that, man, because I got respect.
I appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. All right, man. Look, I appreciate you. I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother.
All right, man. Be good.
Man.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Peace. Woo. All right.
Yes, we all wanna fight to insight, connect the farmer. Peace be with you now, claim the calmness. Fear not what's been bestowed upon us. Those who wish harm and try to con us, or put to sleep with no damn pajamas. Rebel no pause, obey no laws. Prison we have, dance on love laws. Middle free now, pulling no straws. No more suffering, failures or flaws. Yeah.
I am the Lord, Nelson that is.